Today we have discussed about the type of private equity funds. So now people is very curious about to understand the lot of type of private equity fund. For example, people is now very curious about to understand private equity, what is industry, and what is the real estate private equity. So I will discuss about the next class. What is the difference between private equity? What is the difference between real estate? We don't think there is a big difference between private equity and real estate. However, there are small difference between real estate and private equity. And the accounting side, there are no big difference. The private equity and the real estate private equity. Today, we have only discussed about the type of private equity. And the last class, we have discussed about the real estate and private equity. Summarize all the thing very clearly. Now, there are the 10 type of private equity funds. One is the venture capital, another is the growth equity, infrastructure, debt fund, distressed private equity, secondary fund, buyout, large private equity, mezzanine capital, real estate. So there are 10 type of private equity fund. Private equity, the 10 type of it is like of the investment strategy. They have adopted all the 10 whatever the private equity industry need to the invested investment here. Now we can discuss about all the things, summarize and explain you properly what is the meaning of all the point 1 to 10. Today we have discussed only the 5 type of private equity, and next section we can explain the other 5 of private equity. Now you can discuss about the private equity venture capital. In the first class, I already explained you 1946 is the year of the private equity. It is coming in the market. Now this year, now they have introduction as a venture capital. What is the venture capital? Venture capital is generally used to support startup and other business with the potential for the substantial growth. It means the private equity firm searching in the market what if, which business is very new or very beginning stage or any startup business, and the private equity industry they know this business is going in future very growth, and they have targeting of that type of industry or that type of business. They have investment there. This is the venture capital. For venture capital, one company they have 49% share, another company they have 55% share. They get together and run the business. This is the venture capital. For example, if you know, in now a market artificial intelligence is the growing in the future. If someone started that business, that company, they don't have any money. Now they searching some capital for privately. If in the case in private equity industry investment, that particular AI industry company, this is called as the venture capital. Now you can explain the growth capital. What is the growth capital? Growth capital is a type of investment opportunity in relatively mature company that are going through some transformation event in their the life cycle. For example, I tell the growth capital. For best example is the Flipkart. Flipkart is already they are very growth company. Then they have establishment their business in the market. Now they in the mature stage. If the Flipkart is need some money, they're searching in private equity in any private equity investment they are. This is called as a growth capital. It means which industry they already establishment, they already growth in the market, they already spare this business all over the place, and if somebody some private equity investment there, this is called the growth capital. Now you can discuss about the infrastructure fund. What is the infrastructure fund? In the private equity firm, if they targeting investment only is infrastructure company, this is called as a infrastructure fund. Infrastructure fund is simply a form of sector specialized private equity funds that only investment in the infrastructure. You can tell us any infrastructure company, for example NCC Limited, Simple Builder Limited, ABC Limited, whatever the company they have only targeting the infrastructure. If the private equity industry investment there, this is the infrastructure fund. Now you can discuss about the debt fund. What is the debt fund? Debt fund investment in securities that generated fixed income like treasury bill, cooperative bonds, commercial paper, and many market instrument. What is the debt fund? The private equity industry, they have targeting any type of security, any type of corporate bond or commercial paper or any market instrument. Once the investment, they know the income is coming every month or every year, fixed amount of interest, fixed amount of other income. They are targeting only this type of fund is called the debt fund, and the debt fund generally very low risk, and they have some fixed income they have generated in this the type of the private equity. Now we have discussed about the distressed private equity. What is the distressed private equity? Distressed private equity means those company they already bankrupt. Those company they don't have any capital to the grow up in the market. Those company they have not sustainable in the competitor of the other company. They need some money. If the some private equity fund it investment here, this is called as the distressed private equity. It is distressed private equity investment in troubled company, debt or equity to take control of the company during bankrupt or restructuring the process. This type of private equity they target that type of company who already going to the any trouble phase. Either they have bankrupt, either they need some money grow up, either the money to the other competitor they now randomly grow up, they need some money to grow up that company. The private equity fund targeting that type of the industry, they controlling that business, restructuring the business, and they just funding there only. This is for the distress fund. And the rest of the whatever the rest of five, we have secondary private equity, buyout private equity, large private equity, mezzanine private equity, real estate private equity. I can explain my next class in the next five type of private equity industry. Then we can explain the what is the real estate business, what is going on the real estate business, what is the private equity, what is the going on the private equity. Nowadays people is very cautious about the what is the difference between real estate and private equity. Either I can choose my career in the fund accounting going in the private equity industry, either I can choose my career going to the real estate business. I will explain you properly in the my next to next class once I explain proper in the next five type of private equity. Thank you.